everyone, welcome to LUKMAAN IAS. In this lecture series, we are discussing UPSC Geography Optional Paper 1. All the question wise videos we are uploading on YouTube channel of LUKMAAN IAS. So you can join the LUKMAAN IAS YouTube channel to receive these videos, notification also. Before going into today's question, let me announce that we are starting Geography Optional Test Series after prelims examination on 18th of June. In that test series, total 10 tests will be there with mock test also, and we have devised this test series in a manner that the more important topics, chapters like geomorphology, climatology, they will be given more importance, and various questions will be discussed in the classroom discussion of that test, and you will be also provided with the comprehensive model answers also. To know more about test series, you can contact at LUKMAAN IAS. Yes, today's question, it talks about models and theories in geography. Okay, so examine the relevance of central place theory of crystaller in the present context. Again, this is 10-mark question. So we have to write it briefly in 150 words. Also, it is part of compulsory question in the question paper. Okay, so crystaller's central place theory, we all learn about it, but the question is not talking exactly the description of theory or explanation of theory. Rather, it is asking the relevance. It is asking to examine the relevance of this theory in the present context. It is very important because we have to write only in 150 words. Okay, so many students will start explaining the theory and all, and yes, the 150 words are over. So rather, you need to focus on what is asked in the question, demand of the question. Talking about the structure, in introduction, you can simply write about the crystaller and about this the theory that he has given in 1933. So he was German geographer, and he gave this theory in 1933 on the basis of his observations in South Germany, various settlements in South Germany. Okay, so this is brief introduction, and you can explain briefly in first paragraph in the body part about the crux of this theory itself. Okay, so the theory is talking about the relationship, the spatial and functional relationship among the different settlements, and he is saying that there is some kind of hierarchical relationship among these settlements from top to bottom. Okay, so this relationship is explained in a model, in a, we can say, mathematical model he has given here, and that model we need not to explain here in detail. He has given different principles like transport principle with the k value, k is equal to 3. He has also, k is equal to 4. He has given the marketing principle as k is equal to 3 and administrative principle as k is equal to 7. We need not to explain all these things in the answer. Okay, essence of the theory in one paragraph, it is sufficient in body part. Let us come to the main part of the question. We have to understand the relevance, and that too in present context we have to explain. Okay, and that relevance we can explain in this manner. So in relevance means basically you have to give the significance and understand the applicability of this theory in the present context at the world level, as well as some example you can give for India level also. Yes, so the most important aspect is basically this theory is explaining the interrelatedness among the different settlements, be it in terms of functionality, be it in terms of, we can say, different kind of goods and services that particular settlement is providing to other settlements. Okay, so simply while selecting the location of new business center, any person or a business entity will look into these factors which are given in this central place theory. It will try to find out who are the other competitors providing similar kinds of goods and services. So understanding the location of new business, identifying that location to cater the appropriate amount of or threshold population, at the same time earning maximum profits. So for that purpose, the model or this theory is giving very good inputs. The second is efficient division of space and functions among the centers. So different centers, or basically the centers are nothing but the business entities which are providing various goods and services, right? So they are, these centers, their spatial relations and functional relations we need to understand. so as to identify why these settlements have been established at or developed at that particular location only. At the same time, if we are talking about understanding the interdependence of towns, we can give any example. Simply if we are talking about, let's say, some of the locations of the cities in Delhi and NCR region. Now we know that Delhi is the administrative center, right, and many people are living in Delhi, but due to congestion and lack of availability of affordable housing, the people started living in the surrounding regions, and the NCR, National Capital Territory region, has developed. At the same time, many industries developed in that region. So location of these cities with respect to each other, how these cities developed, interdependence of the functions of these cities. So all these aspects we can understand from this theory. Then administrative hierarchy of settlements, a very good example from India itself you can give. There are 6 hierarchies that are there in India. If we talk about from National Capital Territory, okay, so Delhi is the capital territory. Then the capitals of different states at the 2nd level. At 3rd level there is district. At the 4th level there is, we can say, block level is there. Then at the 5th level we have village level. Okay, so from that we can say capital territory at national level, then at state level, then at district level, then at, we can say, block level, village level. Okay, so in this manner there are various hierarchies that we are having here in India in terms of administrative, and in the K7, K is equal to 7 administrative principle given by Christaller in this particular theory, to some extent relates to this hierarchy also. Also the regional planning aspect, it is part of, we can say, geography, as well as in general important function of the governments. So there are inter-regional differences, and so as to have the regional parity in the economic development, regional planning is important component. Okay, like for example backward area development programs, aspirational district programs, such a, let's say, programs are implemented in certain areas. Why this intervention is required? Because we understand the correlation between the settlements, and when we understand that correlation, we are able to have appropriate intervention. Then centralistic functions of the settlement are still relevant. Okay, the central place or the centrality of the function, which is the core principle of this theory, it is still relevant. For example, any settlement is settled around a particular function or particular place. For example, earlier in the past, in the ancient times, how settlements developed? They developed around a water body, they developed around a temple, church or mosque. Okay, so simply one should understand that the centrality, the central function of that city, like some of the cities are pilgrimage cities, some of the cities are, we can say, manufacturing bases or industries are located. Some of the cities are having universities located, like for example Aligarh. So it is educational center. That function attracts the settlements because that provides that kind of services. Okay, so this is also the present relevance. You can give the examples here also. Okay, however, examine command is there. So we have to find the limitations, criticism, why it is not that much relevant. So some of the criticism of this theory you should write in this manner. Although 150 words, very small amount of, let's say, space is there, so word limit is there, but you can cover the maximum point to get the maximum marks here. Okay, in general we know that the settlements are randomly spaced, but this particular theory says that there is hierarchical, and at the same time the organized way of spacing of these settlements. But in reality, we can say on the ground it is not found, rather it is randomly spaced. Also the hexagonal way of the settlements, which is mentioned in this particular theory, so that hexagonal shape, so as to cover the maximum we can say the people to be served by the central place. Okay, so this ideal way of having the settlements in the hexagonal way is not always there. Rather, there are various other factors which influence the location of these settlements. Then lower order centers also have some activities which are provided by higher order centers. The theory proposes that the higher order center has all kind of functions or gives all kind of services given by the lower order center. But the other way around is also true. That is, some of the lower order centers gives the activities or have the activities, provide the service provided by higher order centers also. So other way relation is also true. Then supermarkets, online shopping, these are the emerging trends. Earlier, during when this theory was given, at that time, of course, such kind of, let's say, supermarkets where all types of services, all types of goods can be found in one place itself. Or the online shopping, the 21st century, we can say the era in terms of accessing, purchasing the goods and services. So that aspect is very dynamic in a sense. We can say the location or of the settlements or the central places does not matter here, because if we take the example in India, if we order anything on Flipkart or Amazon, if the producer or service provider of that good, let's say seller of that good is located in Bangalore, so that is also transported to Delhi. Okay, so one can seek such kind of goods from the larger distances also. So this new emerging technological factors, they also influence. Then government intervention, from time to time government also intervene in terms of settlement, like for example regional development programs, like in India aspirational district program, backward district जो होते हैं वहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट के लिए, फॉर एग्जांपल हिल एरिया डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम, north eastern area development program, or we can say that even the border areas development program. So these government interventions to some extent affect the settlements also. Then different modes of transport, yes, the emerging modes of transport, faster and safer transport mode like airways, at the same time railways, they also influence the connectivity of these settlements with the new modes of transport. That also influences how these settlements are growing or placed vis-a-vis each other. It does not include functions such as manufacturing. Now this particular theory largely focuses on service providers. Okay, largely it is concerned as a urban settlements. It is not considering the manufacturing base or manufacturing industries, how they attract the population, how these let's say manufacturing centers attract for let's say employment purpose. Also some of the industries which are dependent on the manufacturing sector, these are attracted to these centers, but that factor is not considered here. Okay, so yes, in the end, as a way forward, you can give, or in a conclusion you can say that the theory we cannot completely negate also as let's say not relevant to present context, or completely accept also. Some of these let's say points from this theory we can relate to present context. Okay, in this manner we can conclude here. Fine. If you have any question, queries regarding this concept, this theory, you can ask in the comment box. We will try to address that query. Thank you.